Yo, what is going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for April 22nd's Locals. We've got Swordsoul on the left versus Mathmech on the right, and this, of course, is going to be the last week of, this format, essentially. Last week of content in this format. And it's been a while, it seems like, since we've had a big shift in the format. I can't remember really what the last time it was. I don't know if it was a set or it was, the last ban list that we had. It just feels like it's been a while since we've had real change, but this set feels like it's definitely going to do that job. A lot of support coming out for a lot of different things. Very excited for this set because there are quite a few cards in this set I'm looking forward to picking up and adding to various decks that I play or want to play, and I'm sure most of you are the same way. So it'll be interesting to see how it shapes things up, but it's gonna seem like Mathmech can get stopped here pretty short of what they'd like to end on. Ash on Small World and Imperm on a Splash Mage, leaving them with not much else to do. And we're going to see Swordsoul start off strong with an Ecclesia, normal summon to Taya. And no Taya effect, no Ecclesia effect either, just going right for Boxia and spinning back that set card before going any further. And they've come strapped with the Long Yun, but they've also come strapped with the Nibiru. And that is going to come down before they have the opportunity to synchro into Long Yun, or not Long Yun, rather, synchro into Baron Floor. And that Boxia popping itself would have came very, very clutch there, bringing back Taya, which they had not used its effect yet. And definitely would have been able to probably go for game there. And then they're going to try to use Ashna post Nibiru, and that is going to get ashed, and quickly. They have one card left in hand. I was going to say, just like that, they have nothing left to work with, but they still have Otara off that Long Yin discard to help secure them some kind of follow-up. And I guess I was going to say, like, they could special summon Ashna here, but there's really no reason to do that. So they are just going to go ahead and pass turn there. Both players pretty much like top decking right now. Not a whole lot going for each side. Mathmech drawing and turning their Nibiru to defense and passing turn. We're going to see Swordsoul draw a Droll and Lockbird for turn. We'll see how much they can get going off of just the Ashna. Spoiler alert, they could probably get quite a bit. Also a reminder to subscribe to the channel if you have not already, so we can get to 30,000 subscribers. And we're going to see him special in the Ashna and then link into a Monk. And from here, they could easily use the Ashna to bring out a Vishuda, link it to a second Monk, Vishuda bounce back to Nibiru, and try to swing for as much damage as possible, because the Nibiru has, the Splash Mage, the Boxia, and the Long Yun. I believe Splash Mage has something like 1,200 attack. I know Long Yun's got not a lot of attack, maybe 1,200 as well. And then the Boxia, that's got to be at least 4,000 attack token. So now they're going to go ahead and use the Ashna. And they're going to bring out Shithana here. Say maybe, let's see. Ashna would be 1 summon. Monk would be 2. Vishuda would be 3. Another Monk would be 4. So, I mean, they'd still play around Nibiru, even if they bounce it back to hand. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a way they could have gone for game there. They leave them just at 3,000. I'm not sure of the exact stats of the token. If the token plus the 2 monks would have been enough for game, but they are going to drop Droll, though, after the circular searches out equation. And a circular top deck is one hell of a top deck. Yeah, I can see why they didn't go for Vishuda. If it wasn't going to be going for game, having the Shithana set up in graveyard to kind of like block a potential access code OTK, giving them a little bit more resistance. And it looks like they're just going to kind of tunnel vision into Splash Mage, into Update Jammer, into Transcode, into Update, into Access Code. And this Access Code was not summoned with IP, so this Shithana will put in a lot of work here. Regardless whether they decide to pop any of the monks or not. That might have been a little bit of a miscalculation from our Mathmech players, so they're going to use Access Code. That's going to banish Update Jammer to destroy the Nibiru token. And now they're definitely thinking twice about using the access code here. So I think they're just going to go battle phase, get in some damage here, and then they're going to use the Shithana. That's going to banish itself, pop the access code, bring out the Monk. And now they've got 2 free bodies on field to start their next turn, and they still have that tie engrave, which means we could easily see a Monk play, and or not a Monk play, a Shaman play rather. And if Shaman can get over the defense position monster, they can go for Berserker, and this could honestly just be game right here. And they do not have any cards in hand as they just set their last monster. Yeah, so they're going to go ahead and link both Monks into Shaman, discarding Longyun, bringing back the Taya. And then they can activate Taya effect here to banish a Worm or a Swordsoul, summon a token, and then, of course, now that they've used Shaman, they can only use Tenyi monsters in the extra deck, Tenyi monster effects in the extra deck, I believe. They can still summon any level 8 synchro that they want. They just can't use its effect. So they're going to go ahead and banish Longyun, bring out token. And I think, again, it's just going to be pretty simple here. Just going for the Berserker. And they could use the Taya graveyard effect as well. I'd probably go ahead and send it hard just to be able to add back like the Longyun, maybe, just to have in hand. But they're just going to battle phase. It's set droll. Yeah, so Berserker will be able to go in for game. We're into a game 2. Reminder, guys, to check out Imperium Duelist. I did make a post a couple days ago. They do have some great new products available. Brand new deck boxes, Light Attribute and Divine Attribute. Brand new Millennium like tablet binder, nice silver and gold color. And they are coming out with a brand new playmat this Friday. Do not want to miss that. And don't forget, you can use my discount code WinterKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And also, please feel free to use my TCG Player affiliate link if you guys are shopping on TCG Player. Yeah, link is in the description of all my videos. So we're going to see a pretty standard turn here for Mathmech going first. Circular into Alimbertian, into Diameter, into Wicked. Classic plays here. They're going to go ahead and banish the Alimbertian to go ahead and search a Cyber's Tuner. So they have Diameter for follow-up. And then they're going to go ahead and link into the Decode Talker Heat Soul, pay a rack, draw a card, set one, and pass turn. So it's basically Pot of Greed at the cost of 2,000 life points and a turn. And I think they have the Super Factorial set. At least that would make the most sense. Now, our Swordsoul player did draw Evenly Matched, a card I was never super fond of playing in Swordsoul because the battle phase oftentimes was one of your most valuable assets. But even in this situation, that card is not going to be very, very clutch here because they've only got 2 cards, right? And they've played around the Evenly very well. They don't care really much about the Heat Soul once they've gotten their draw out of it. And they also are going to be able to drop Droll and Lockbird on resolution of that emergence. Droll does not really do a whole lot against Swordsoul. It's very rare that it actually ends up doing something. It could be one of those hands where maybe the Droll actually does end up hurting the Swordsoul player here. We'll just have to wait and see. Super Factorial is going to be shut down instantly by Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. And they're going to be able to Synchro 10 into Baron after they bounce back that Heat Soul with Vishuda. And now the only thing you have to worry about here is something like playing like into Nibiru. And I think that's kind of what our Swordsoul player is contemplating at this point. Do they want to risk playing into Nibiru? The opponent is already so low in life points. They just need, I think, a Taya on field. And that would be game because Taya does have 1,800. And they don't even need to use Taya effect. They can just attempt to leave main to go to battle phase. There's Nibiru, there's Valor. That's the combo of the century right there. Ensuring that Nibiru is going to go through. And it does. I mean, maybe they didn't have to try and go for it, but if they would have just left on Baron Pass, maybe they would have been in a pretty good spot. Because then you just leave 2 dead hand traps in their hand where they find no value, and you save the Ecclesia for follow-up. But that's a big what if. Yeah, so we're going to see Mathmech start their turn by activating Pot of Desires. That will go ahead and resolve here. No Droll or anything on resolution from our Swordsoul player. Accidentally revealing it evenly in their hand. Happens. They're going to go ahead and normal summon the Diameter. That'll get Imperm, but they've got that Sigma in the graveyard, which is always Always easy to forget. Summons itself back out for the free, so they're still able to establish a rank 4, and there's a small world, and that is just going to be game. Our Swordsoul player is going to admit defeat there, and we're on to a game 3 situation where I imagine we'll probably see Swordsoul opt to go first. It looks like they open up double emergence, judgment, Taya, and one other card. I can't see what it is. Emergence will successfully resolve. And we'll see if they're going to add a Moyi or if they'll go ahead and add a Longyun. So it looks like they'll add Longyun here. Nothing on resolution, it looks like. They also have Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in hand, which is not a bad card to have in this particular matchup. Longyun, discard another emergence. Nothing on resolution of Longyun effect. No token collector there, thankfully. Not that anybody's really citing that. And we're going to go ahead and summon Baron up in the EMZ. And they're not going to commit Taya. They're just going to play it safe. And they're going to go ahead and use Baron to negate Small World. I don't know if I technically would have done that. I mean, I feel like you always want to at least stop Circular for the most part. But they just have a lot here. They have a lot. And the Bell is able to stop the Diameter, but again, they are still able to keep going. So I feel like maybe, and they're going to go ahead and use Judgment on the Alan Bershin. So, I mean, they're not too bad off here. A load of hand traps left in our Mathmech player's hand. I saw Nibiru and Valor, I think, and Superfactorial. And they're going to go ahead and pass turn. So, I mean, I feel like they interrupted the Mathmech player semi-correct for the most part, but I feel like maybe holding the Baron for a circular negate maybe was a little bit better. I don't know, maybe, like, because, like, I can kind of get why stopping Small World is, you know, makes sense in some instances, like, you know, just put them on half circular, but it's just, like, such a high chance for them to have circular most of the time that I feel like that's not usually a gamble you want to take. Unless it's, like, Cyanide Mining and they're discarding a card, right, to go minus and card advantage, then I feel like at that point it's okay. But maybe not so much just on Small World. But they are going to go ahead and normal summon Taya here. And they're going to go ahead and banish Emergence for cost, and that is going to get hit with Valor. And now they're just kind of contemplating if they have any way to possibly get to game. They are at 6,800, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to. They're just going to go ahead and use Baron to pop Circular and swinging with everything else, and then they're going to pass, slamming that Diameter onto the table, bringing out the Circular, and then bringing out the Sigma, going into a second Alan Bershin effect attaching to, and this is probably just going to be access code for game as they go ahead and search out Equation. And I don't believe our Mathmech player, or our Swordsoul player rather, has any other hand traps or any other form of interruption left at this point. There's the Splash Mage. Splash Mage brings out the Diameter, and the Alan Bershin brings out another Circular. And then they go into Update Jammer, and Splash Mage into Transcode. Transcode bring back the update, and that is going to be game right then and there. And we're going to see Mathmech take it 2-1. Maybe if our Swordsoul player would have used their represents maybe a little bit more sparingly there, maybe they would have had something left over for that other turn, but who knows. And last but not least, a big thank you goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Misfit, H8 Cyber, Cadillacs, 84, Pony Stark, and Green. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and very generous support of the channel.